you by bookmakers.com.
Good evening, World's Full-Time Reds. It's me, Chris Brackett's him, Nev O'Sullivan. I finished Leeds 1, Liverpool 6. Kev, we won an away game. Fucking hell.
Not just won an away game. We were convincing. We were really good on the night and dominated the ball and put in a performance. You get a performance, you'll get a result.
This season's mad, though, isn't it? We can't score against any of the bottom six all season away from home. So we put 6 past them today. And I think, so I've just trying to the stats up, I think it's the first time in 100 years Liverpool have scored 6+ goals in 4 games in the same season. And you're thinking, it's just a mental season, is it? But performance-wise, really, really good. It's literally, apart from one brain fart, that's about it, really.
Yeah, and, I think... Look, we'll get into the whole lot of it in a bit. It was definitely one to enjoy because it's one of those performances that we haven't had anywhere near enough of this season. But, you take your win. They're a side fighting, scrapping to stay in the league. So they're never going to be easy games. And I thought we managed that pretty much perfectly, bar one brain fart. That could have been a banana skin. Really good. Given our away performance, given the fact that we don't score and haven't been beating sides in the bottom 6, haven't been scoring enough goals, haven't been fluid in any of the way that we've been playing, we needed that. We desperately needed that, and we needed that to finish the season, to start.
Finish. Oh, you're still there.
And
see, still there.
That.
Oh,
we're doing this again, are we? Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, you're doing
I reset my thingy as well.
That's all right. There we go. So, Michael Reed, LFC statistician, that's the most times we've scored 6+ goals in a season since 1963-64. Only the 1895 and 1896 season, we've scored more. We've scored 6 goals plus more, which was 7 in that season. So, these are some things you don't see all the time, just unfortunately because the season's been so inept.
It's mad.
Been one of them, hasn't it?
What did you think of the lineup when it came out? Because look, he went unchanged from the Arsenal one.
I thought this might have been the game where he put Nunez in instead of Jota, only because Jota's done quite a few games back to back, and I did wonder maybe would Thiago get a start because Henderson and Fabinho have done quite a few back to back games. But as you rightly said to me, they haven't played for 8 days, and it's 1 game a week now to the end of the season. So maybe it's just more of a keep the same 11 while they're bedding in this new system. Because the way they're playing this system where Trent on the ball becomes part of the double pivot, but off ball becomes a right back, is what Arsenal do with Zinchenko and what City have been doing for years with Kyle Walker. So that seems to be maybe that's the tactical evolution we're going from. You and me were saying in the summer, depending on who we buy, maybe this is where, Henderson drops out, and this is where Gravenberch or a Mount or whoever we're going to buy, that's where they slot in. So maybe that's just the way of doing it.
Yeah,
but that only works if you have someone of Konate's pace and ability at right back. Because at times you're going almost to a back 3. So you've got to have a centre back who's comfortable one-on-one defending and has got some pace about it, which Matip can't do. You couldn't play a system with Matip because he'd get killed for pace all the time. That's just his game,
Yeah, it's one of those. I think this system is so dependent on Trent. It doesn't work without Trent, and it doesn't work without Matip. Without Ibu Konate. I watched when we were watching Ibu, and we were slightly linked. Watched a lot of Leipzig, and I watched him play right back, and I watched him play right centre back in a 3, and he's really, really good at it. He found it really natural, but for Trent to play in that 6, because he commits to it so early in the build-up. It's like, okay, we've got the ball. I'm going into the 6. This is the way it's going to happen. It's not like it's we'll wait until the ball is past the halfway line and then I'll drift into the 6. It's like, no, I'm going into the 6 and don't lose the ball.
Yeah.
It is literally that. don't lose the ball in a stupid area and make me look like an idiot.
Which is,
and it
to be
puts
honest,
pressure.
the
It puts
first
pressure
half
on
hour,
everyone else.
the first half hour against Arsenal, that's where we were giving it away softly.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the first 10 minutes of the first half today, we did the same thing, silly giveaways, and that's where it caught us out. It'd be interesting how we adapt that formation against a better side than Leeds, because Trent played a lot of the game as a double pivot. We had 75% of the ball, so in a nice way, he didn't have to defend very often. When he did fine. But Jones was going like he didn't need to, because at times it was like a front five.
Yeah.
Curtis Jones and Henson were so far forward, or Trent went forward, and it allowed us to overpower them eventually. But it did probably take half hour to settle it down, I would say.
This is it. It's the overall picture. If you look at the game in the overall picture, we dominate the ball because of the system that we were playing. And if Leeds or anyone who we play decide to go, okay, we'll play you man to man and we'll stick someone wide up on the wing and force someone to stay back, we'll pick you off.
Which anytime
Leeds step out with the ball or to try to press in any way, you've got the overload in the middle of the park and you're creating it everywhere. It's mental how dominant this formation can be, but it's so specific or dependent on the players that are playing in it. If you know what I mean. It's a brilliant formation. It's a brilliant setup, but you have to have buy-in from everyone. And I think that's a large reason today why Jota started over Darwin, because of Jota's ability to press off the ball.
He's been doing it longer at Liverpool. He's been doing it longer at Liverpool, so he knows it. Jota's still got to learn that a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's probably, and Gakpo, it's just natural to his game. The amount of times that Jota and Gakpo and Salah were pressing the ball high up the pitch, Fabinho snapping into tackles and winning the ball high up the pitch. Same with Henderson, same with Jones. We won the ball in good areas, and that takes bravery and commitment, buy-in from everyone. Once everyone buys into it, I could see this I could see us flourishing under this with this way of playing. But it comes with a real risk.
Because if we played that sort of bravery away at Chelsea, you might have got more than the points out of it. Because Chelsea were there to be got out defensively, but I think you could tell the manager it was just get through City and Chelsea, and then he's obviously targeted this as the run where he's going to try this new formation. But we'll know next season, because Trent's not going to play every game next season. So how do you do it when he's not there?
Yeah.
And that's, maybe have a different way of playing when Trent's like that. Like we've said, we need a way of playing and being dominant when we don't have a Thiago. Now, this way we've done it kind of works. Admittedly, it's a small pool of games. It's literally 2 games. So we have to temper that with, we'll see how it goes.
The game started. We dominated the ball without, and you'd often see it was like we were passive, but we were managing the game, but we were kind of passive in it. But it was
passive. It was no purpose, was it?
Yeah, but it was always designed to draw Leeds out. Leeds were quite happy. They'll sit in their 2 banks of 4, the 2 strikers ahead of in front of the midfielders and say, break us down. And we were saying, no, you come out. And, they got a couple of, they had the free kick.
And the Rodrigo header, wasn't it?
Header. But other than that,
which he should do better with. It's not a great header.
But other than that, we weren't under any threat at all, really.
Because a couple of minutes later, Mo has the exact same chance and also should do better. But you kind of felt, up until the goal, you were sort of going, you and me were both messaging each other saying, we're comfortable on the ball. They look a bit more risky on the break because of the pace they've got there. But we said, we haven't really created anything. We're just sort of
playing the game.
Just playing the game, sort of it's a bit of a dead game, really. And then the goal, Trent actually picks it up. From a pass out wide, but he picks it up in where you expect the right back to be, really. It wasn't like in a centre mid position, it was a right back position. He loses the ball, so he charges it down. It does hit his arm. We can't deny it. It does. Carragher reckoned his arm comes out, but he said it's like he's turning because he thinks the ball's going to hit him in the face, and it just hits him. But ref doesn't see it or assume, must think it's accidental. Gives it to Mo. Mo plays a nice pass back to Trent. Cross, nice easy tap in for Gakpo. He's getting quite likes a little tap in one.
Yeah.
So as a VAR, it can't be ruled out because it's too far back. It's not, and the rule is he doesn't handball it and then pass it straight away to cause the goal. He doesn't handball it in. So that rule's been there for a little while. So it was never going to get ruled out. That it's for the referee to see it.
Exactly, and it was one of those well-worked moves that it just flowed, and the game needed a goal. And to be honest, I'm glad we got it because the way the game was going, if we'd have ended up going 1-0 down, having to chase that, it would have been difficult. But the fact that we got the first goal, it forced Leeds into something, and the fact that they had to try to react, and the fact that we got the second one right after it, within I think 2 or 3 minutes, with the second one, the first one on 35, the second one on 39, and again it was the assist. Diogo Jota wins it back, makes the break, and Mo finds himself central, and I think the centre back stutters on his run, doesn't know whether
he thinks Jota's going to go in and hit it, so he goes to follow Jota and leaves Mo. But you may have said it's very rare you see Mo left side on the left side coming onto his left foot. He's always cutting in
onto his left foot.
Yeah. I mean,
and he didn't smash it either. He just saw the space and just hit it into the goal. It wasn't like a bang it and hope or anything like that. It was just a good finish away from the keeper, and 2-0. You're like, I was just like, okay, breathe. You can relax a bit now, because it got to about. I remember the game. It got to 43 minutes, and from 43 minutes until the referee blew the whistle, we kept the ball.
Yeah, very Liverpool a couple of years ago, where we were accused of being boring and just said all we do is just kill the game.
Yeah.
What City you get accused of? That's kind of what we need to do.
Kieran said there, and Kieran's dead right. Jota was woeful in that first half. He was doing his head in.
He couldn't pass a ball 2 yards, and the one time he does, he sets the goal up.
Yeah,
but I think his pressing was good and his work rate was good. He had a brain fart every time he had the ball, and that's where some of their chances came from. Was him, giving the ball passes. Away. Yeah, but the good thing is that's another record for Mo. 107 Premier League goals now with his left foot, which is now another record that he's broken. Overtook Robbie Fowler at 106. So, he just keeps breaking records,
I mean, listen, I'd never heard of anyone talking about that record in my life until you
neither did I. It just flashed it up and I went, oh, right, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I assumed somebody else had more. You just generally do, and you're like, oh, okay. So, again, it's just another thing you see. It's like, okay, fair enough.
I was just delighted with how we managed to get to halftime.
Yeah.
We didn't have to go helter-skelter and try and get a third and kill it off. It was like, okay, there's 2 minutes to halftime. It's okay. This is 2 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
And we literally just managed the game.
Think about it the other way. Arsenal away, we got it to 1-1, and we put every man forward.
Yeah.
Got to get the second before half-time. You probably don't. I think it's more of a confidence thing, and we got stung by it. So, Kieran B saying, why is Nunez not starting? I can't see why he dropped the front three that starts against Arsenal, because they did the job. I think Nunez is possibly not fully fit anyway. I do think I think that shoulder issue he got is still a thing, but ultimately this is what you want. You want a squad, you want to be able to rotate, which for the attack we can, and for defence we can. It's just the guys in the middle can't do that. We will talk about someone in the middle, because there is somebody in the middle who gets a lot of over-the-top shit. And I actually thought Jones had a really good game again. And look, he was he's started 3 games in a run, that's a while since we've seen Jones start back-to-back games, let alone 3 in the bounce. And look, that was always my big concern with Jones is, can you keep him fit? Because if you keep him fit, he's a handy squad player. And today he came in, did his job. He gets some nice assists. Did everything else, did all the dirty work, and I think didn't hold the ball as much as he normally is accused of. He was a bit crisper with the ball, but I wonder, is he a bit crisper with the ball because he's back to back, so he's in a flow? You know, some players maybe just need the rhythm of they can't do one game in, don't play for 6 months. You know, partly that is on him because he can't stay fit. But you know, that's what you kind of need. And it's always nice to see Trent have a good game and stick it to the ridiculous punditry I'm seeing about him at the moment. Because some of the punditry I'm seeing about Trent now is quite personal. It's just literally, can I find anything to dig him out on? You know, we were literally told last week he couldn't play with his back to goal in centre mid, and he's just done it today, so he can. You know, no talk of Reece James, who's had a nightmare month and has been rinsed playing as a wing back with more cover. You know, same with Zinchenko. He's been rinsed a couple of games running, not done well, not a mention. Clearly, because Trent drives clicks. We all know the game, but it's quite nice to see, you know, that bit of confidence coming into him as well.
And we got to halftime, and all I said, I put out a tweet at halftime and I said, look, just manage the game. Don't do anything stupid.
You were cursing me because I sent you a stat that was on the telly. It said something like, it was something like 110 games Liverpool have had a 2-goal lead, and they've only drawn 4 and won the rest. And they said, and then it came up, last 40 games Liverpool have led 2-0 at half time. They've won all 40. So I said to you, do not for stupid the first 15 minutes. We should be laughing. Fuck's sake. Literally 2 minutes. And to be fair to him, he had a good game, but it's a proper brain fart. Like you said, it's not the best pass back to him.
It was a ridiculous.
He's got so much time to still get rid of it. He's got no idea what's around him.
Yeah, it's almost one of those things that you do in a training game. And it's like, I can't believe you just passed this ball back to me here. Are you stupid? So, okay, I'll just go and get it and I'll just regroup. And they forgot the fact that there was 2 players pressing him. You know, going go on the opposite side, away from goal, onto Ibu's right-hand side for him to clear it up the line. It was a bad pass back to him. Saying that, you turn, you play it to Alisson. You do what Virgil would do, is play it out.
Yeah. Well, Virgil would play out, or he just ping it to the far corner and just go, there'll be a wing there. So, to be honest, if I give it away miles from goal. But look, he's a young centre-back. It's a brain fart. Let's be honest. I think I tweeted it out, said, that's standard Liverpool this season. How many brain farts do you need at defence? Yeah. And it's not Canate, because Canate's done it, Van Dijk's done it, Trent's done it, Robbo's done it. The whole back line, Alisson, they've all had brain farts this year. It's just, it's been a season for it. So,
but the difference today is the reaction. The difference today was the reaction.
2-goal cushion helps. Most of those brain farts have happened, and you go 1-0 down, you're like, oh, fucking hell. You know, that's the problem. At least there wasn't the panic, and we've seen it. I mean, we've seen it with Arsenal 2 games running now. They've done a brain fart, got it to 2-1, and they've panicked.
Yeah.
And it's gone 2-2. But the third goal, it's a great pass by Jones. Lovely pass.
It was a lovely pass because the easy pass was out to Mo.
The safe pass.
But it was out to Mo going away from goal where he'd have to check back, where the vision to see the pass and to weight it perfectly. That was just. Do you remember the assist that Henderson did with the outside of his foot? I think it was last season or the season. Yeah. It was very similar to that, where he just
doesn't have to do anything. He knows the finish. It almost like it just telegrams him what you got to do. Yeah. And listen, he's had a shitter of a year in front of the goal. It was nice to finally get the monkey off the back. That look, there's your goal, because he goes on the radar. In the year he's not scored, only Mo has assisted more goals than Jota.
Yeah,
and part of the reason, look, he's not scored goals because he's been injured and he's played a lot wide left now. He doesn't seem to be playing through the middle as much. Gakpo seems to have took that position off him. So it is reducing his opportunities, but you could see the relief, but you also could see the relief in his teammates is he's got it done. That's what he wants. And it was a crucial goal. It wasn't the 6th, which is nice to get. It's the one that you go, right, this stops now. We've got back to the 2-goal lead. We stopped the game now. This is it. We killed the game. Yeah. And I was just kind of hoping for a nice, simple, 3-0, 3-1. We just see it out now, just pass it round. We just kept going. Just kept going.
But the thing is, I think a lot of the thing that happened was Leeds kept coming And instead of saying, okay, we shipped 5 against Palace, we're 3-1 down, we're not going to concede anymore. If we get anything, fine, we can reassess it at 3-2. But don't concede anymore. And on comes the rest then. On comes the answer. Because by the time this one goes in, we were just having fun.
Yeah, because I think Leeds then had a couple of half chances. There's one, I think, at 5-1 where there's a big block by Ibu, which is quite nice to see because he had a big block at 5-1, and I think the winger stood him up, and he, I think if someone that big, you don't expect to be that quick, and he just does it, and then we go for there. So sorry, Paul, and then you keep. I know I'm getting told for interrupting you, Kev. Sorry.
You're all right, mate.
Yeah. What you also can't realise, Paul, is Kev's internet keeps cutting out every 2 seconds. So
I'm on a delay, so...
Yeah, so pipe down, Paul. Bloody hell.
Yeah, relax, mate.
Go on then, you talk through the fourth.
Relax, mate. Which one was the fourth? The fourth was...
Salah's second.
You're going to have to remind me now because I don't remember it at all. I think that might have been when my internet cut out.
Well, we thought Salah got a fourth. Trent does a clever free kick to Virgil, puts it across.
Oh,
goal.
yeah.
Virgil he's just offside, and he is just offside, which is frustrating. But then the fourth one it's the breakaway down to Robbo, cuts it into Gakpo. Gakpo, lovely pass.
Oh, that one,
and slots it. That's the breakaway Liverpool goal we've seen loads of time.
But that goal is all about Robertson. Because he knocked the ball past Stroke at pace. He just doesn't. And to have that composure then, to slow yourself down, to get the cut back right. Gakpo's chested one touch and out was brilliant. But for me, that goal was all about Robertson. And most lots of the way, it was a lovely finish. But the work, because it was one of the rare occasions that Robertson, in this formation, in this system, it was very rare to see Robertson go overlapping down that left-hand side. And
it could be a way of extending his Liverpool career because he turns 30. He turns 30. So actually, if we do this formation where he picks and chooses his runs a bit more, saves the pace in your legs. Look, I know I'm not always his biggest fan. I could never see Simicast doing the right side of a back three. But maybe that's the evolution of if you want to rest Trent is not quite the same, but you can also say you put Simicast and just bomb and bomb and bomb because that's what you're good at. And you tell a Gomez or whoever the new centre-back is to be a bit more tucked in on the right.
But one of the beauties of this system is, yes, you get Trent into midfield with his passing range. You also give Virgil time on the ball in the middle to ping passes left and right. And you also have Robertson's passing from deep as well. So you've got options that if you press the guy on the ball, he's got 3 options every time. Whether he pings it into Fabinho in the 6 and back out to Van Dijk and out to Robertson and they play it that way. Or they play it into Fabinho, back to Konate, out to Trent and go along that way. It's really difficult for everyone to press unless you overcommit. And if you overcommit, you've still got 3 forwards in front and all it takes is one pass and they're in. Because you've still got the two centre mids taking up wider roles coming from out to in to meet with the 3 forwards. It's a seriously brave formation that the more they work on it and the more confident they get in it is only going to reap rewards for everyone.
Yeah. What do you think about Gakpo playing through the middle? Because
I love it.
If we go online, quite a lot of saying it doesn't work. We don't like it. Why isn't Nunez starting? Why isn't this starting? I'm sort of going. Most times I've seen him play that. For me, it looks like it works. He's sort of a Bobby Light, But there'll be other games where you don't need a Bobby Light. You need more of a physical, pacey central option, which is then is then Nunez. Is it in my head? Is it just horses for courses a little bit? And
I think it could be, but the other side of it is you look at all of the forwards that we have. They all offer you something different. There's some similarities with all of them. They're all quick on the ball. They're all they're all confident on the ball and they all want the ball. But Darwin Nunez pacing behind and strength in the air is really good. Gakpo's strength is coming to the ball, taking it and turning with it and drawing other people to him to be able to ping it off. He's very Bobby-like in that. Jota is an absolute
He's a lot better.
dog
He's
to
a lot
work.
better keeping the ball as well, isn't he? Because one of the things about Gakpo was he gave the ball. One of the things about his possession stats was he gave the ball away a lot, which you did think, well, that's not really a Bobby style, is it? Because that's not Bobby's game, as he keeps the ball. But maybe that's more because of how he was asked to play for PSV. It was take more risks. Maybe that's not, his more natural game is to keep the ball a bit better. But like you said, Kev, it was a thing we were accused of for a couple of years is outside of Origi, all of our lads do the same thing. Yeah. They're all brilliant, but they're all very similar. So this makes the match probably quite good.
At our best, with Sadio, Bobby, and Mo Salah as a front three, it picked itself. And the more seasons that it played together, the runs were the same. It was just nobody could stop them until eventually Father Time stepped in and slowed it down a little touch. And side started to read the runs a bit better. They started doubling up either side, stopped the space. And once they stopped the space, it stifled them. And that's when we started to see the decline in Sadio Mane. The fact that for the year before he left, he really struggled playing wide because he couldn't go past the fullback. He didn't have that breakneck speed to go past the player.
Sort of seeing that a little bit of Bayern now because Bayern's decided to still play him wide left, which you kind of feel like if you watch his last year for us, the best 6 months he had for us in his last season were playing as number 9.
Through the middle. Yeah.
And then we had raw pace and Diaz.
Exactly. It's just one of them. But the way this side is going to evolve, it almost indicates now when you look to the summer to the type of players that you're going to be looking to play within this kind of a system. Just for argument's sake, you look at what a Mason Mount can do in that role that Jordan Henderson played. And Henderson was very good again tonight. But you look at what a Mason Mount can offer you in that role. He can do that role. That kind of inside forward who tucks back into an 8 when it's off the ball and can defend and do that leg work. But going forward, he has that cleverness about his game. It's those kind of players. If you're looking at signing McAllister can do that role. So...
And then Gravenberch is a bit of a jack of all trades, and he can cover
supplement
left,
both.
Could cover right. He can play as a 6 because that's kind of what's the Ajax way, isn't it? If you play midfield, you play everywhere. That's kind of what they get you to do.
It's there's one of the comments there about Gakpo is from AP Cooney. Gakpo has a lovely balance but lacks conviction at the minute. Once he gets that, he's going to be excellent. This is the thing. Gakpo has still only been in the club for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
but he's still learning that's probably bear in mind, Leeds wanted him. Leeds, they'd met him, they'd made the offer. Leeds were desperate to get him.
Man United too.
Yeah,
you can see how he fits in the United side quite comfortably.
Yeah, he's never ever played Elland Road before. This is all new to him, and he's still in brand new surroundings, learning the league, learning the style of play, and then all of a sudden, we've changed it. So everyone is learning. And the thing is, if we stick with this between now and the end of the season, finish the season strong, you can bounce into next season then on the strength of what you're doing now. But this result tonight, as good as it is, and it's a fantastic result, is only as good as the game against Forest at the weekend. If we don't back this up against Forest at the weekend, we're back to square one and pulling our hair out again.
Yeah, Jake Simpson said that earlier. He said, can we back it up? Because that's sort of been what we haven't done with these big wins.
Yeah.
Beat Bournemouth, back it up with a draw. Beat United 7-0, backed it up with one draw and 3 losses. We just didn't back it up. We can't do that. The only reason I'm thinking we might back this one up is because the next game's at Anfield. Our other 2 big wins in the Premier League were big home win, then it's an away. So you'd like to think because it's at Anfield, that'll help.
There's that, and there's also the fact that this time now you look at the options that we had on the bench today. It was, granted, Klopp made the changes late, but in fairness, none of the players that were on the pitch looked like they they were always having fun in games. None of them looked like they wanted to come off or needed to come off. So the fact that you were able to bring on Firmino, Darwin, Luis Diaz come on and got 15 minutes. Milner come on and he got a good ovation. And Thiago comes on for a cameo at the end. That's depth.
But then you look
need
at
that.
But for Forest, we could just do that. We could just go Thiago in for Henderson, give Henderson legs a rest. Nunez in for one of the front three, maybe Jota. And then you go again.
And
the rest of all the 6 games.
Elliot can come in for Jones. And you go.
I sort of feel with Jones at the moment because he's in such good form the last 2-3 games that he's played. I kind of feel like we just need to ride that out. And I do wonder with Elliot, he's not featured at all now in 3 straight games. I do wonder because he's played so much.
Yeah, he's been overplayed this season massively.
Sports science wise, they've all gone like it's maybe this is caught up with him. And he's only a kid. He's only 19, so they're probably thinking if we can, let's protect him. Yeah. Especially to be fair, Jones has took his spot while he's rested him, and he took his opportunity. So,
and that's all you can ask of a young player when you come in is, put your hand up, grab the shirt, and do something. His first appearance back, you could tell he hadn't played a game in anger for months.
And Chelsea away's not an easy first game back.
But he was tentative on the ball, and his decision making was slightly off it. He was better against Arsenal, but Arsenal are top of the table for a reason. And he didn't dwell on it. He as moments. It was as good a performance as I've seen from midfield 3 for a while.
Yeah. I mean, someone put in here like Elliot can't play an 8 for us. I think he can play an 8 for us in the way we're doing this formation because the 8 where Henderson was playing is you were told to almost play as a front 4 player. So that plays to his strengths. When we're asking him to do the donkey work, that's still a thing he's got to learn. That's part of his thing. Loads of saying, spit it out, Kev. I think you froze out. But I didn't want to interrupt you because, like Steve said, fucking hell, don't be accused of interrupting you again. Even when you're mid-pause,
No,
you just never know.
I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's going on. But
so let's talk about the fifth goal, which was Jota's second. I don't think it was the cleanest hit he's ever done in his life, but do you know what? He's had no luck. So one, you don't hit cleanly and it still gets in the bottom corner. Because actually, Melier actually played, to be fair, quite well. He had no protection.
No chance. But he had no chance. He had no chance with any of them. But the build-up play for that goal, the triangles that we were playing, just to create the space, it was like you were in their final third and it was keep ball. It was a keep ball session in their final third. And it was quick triangles around to maneuver them into a position. Henderson got the ball, played it across, and bang. It was a beautiful goal. It was a beautiful goal.
Yeah. And then subs came on there. All 4 of them. So brand new front 3, not bad. Great to see Diaz back. We missed him.
That's massive. Massive. Yeah. And the fact he came in on the right, but it was a free roll.
Yeah. It's just, one fella went through, which I'll be honest, while he didn't like it, I think for Diaz, you've got to get at least one. You need one of them to sort of, you don't want people going through it. As in, like, he's felt hard, an over-the-top tackle, got up and go, well, I'm all right. Because that's how you know, don't you, with those sort of knee injuries. Until you get a whack, you fully know you're back in it. Klopp said he's fit, but he's not match. But he needs matches now. So there's he's fit as he can be, but he needs to play. Listen, that could be just a bit of a wild card for the last 9 games. Is Nunez, Diaz keep going on. It'd be great. What's the matter with it?
Oh, that's a comment there. Oh, let me go back to it. Where is it? Something about Dicko. The aliens gave Dicko back. Now they're after Kev. That's why his Wi-Fi is interference. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Ray Dicko's internet issues are legendary.
With his big light behind his head, so it looks like he's being possessed. That's the other thing that's so funny on Ray Dicko. Yeah. And then Darwin gets his goal. Played through, playing on the shoulder, nice touch, calmly slots it. Yeah. Basically everything he didn't do at home to Arsenal. So he has got that in his game, and he's still learning. But that's the sort of position he's got himself in when he's blasted it.
He's got to improve his finishing. It's bad enough this season, really, with the amount of goals that we're missing from Diogo Jota. Okay, we're missing, Jota contributing 20 goals in a season is massive, right? The fact that Darwin is on 15 now for the season is acceptable. But they did on Monday Night Football tonight. They were doing a segment on Haaland. And one of the things they showed was the amount of shots that forwards take. And Darwin Nunez is right up there. He's right up there. It takes some of the most shots for a forward in the league, some of them. But it just shows to me his conversion rate is one of the worst. He takes his shots from bad areas, and it's panic shooting. It's bad decision making. It's taking a shot when a pass is better. It has to improve, and otherwise, you'll give him next season, but it has to improve next season. We have to see a much better return from him next season. Yeah.
AP's asking, would you agree there needs to be a plan with Elliott? Don't want him to end up like Jones. Not quite sure you mean I don't end up like Jones. Ultimately, with Jones is he can't stay fit. Because when he was fit, he was getting regular games. Elliott's getting plenty of regular games. I think the problem for Elliott has been he's having to do a lot of this work in the struggling side, which I think is harsh on a 19-year-old. We're hoping Liverpool next year are a lot better. And I do think that I also think he'll play less games next year because I actually think, like you said, Kev, I think he's been forced to be overplayed because we've literally got nowhere else because the other options we always have are crocked, which never helps.
And the other side of it is at the time when they were fitting games in for the World Cup and playing 3 games a week for the bones of 4 months straight, you can't play the same 4 players and rotate one out all the time. It was above all seasons where you needed your squad depth to stay healthy. This was the season,
which is what makes the summer so infuriating.
The engine room is where games are won and lost. We went into the season with 10 midfielders, and of the 10, you could lay your hat on 2 of them staying healthy. Unfortunately, the 2 that you could hang your hat on, Fabinho's foot fell off the edge of a cliff, and Henderson just doesn't have the legs that he had when he was 26.
Yeah.
And this is where they were badly let down by everyone else. Some of it, look, Ox's injury in pre-season is just one of those things. He had a bad one. But the rest of them were either niggly injuries or just volume of games caught up with them. And, to a man today, that 11 that started the game and played for the bones of 80 minutes wouldn't fault any of them. Ibn made a simple mistake, so what? Other than that, he was a monster today.
And the fact it hasn't cost us helps, because then it's one of those things where the management can go, yeah, great, we've got the win, but there's also a little caveat then to go, but this is what we need to work on, this is what we need to improve, so you don't get too carried away. I've also realised, Kev, housekeeping, we are sponsored by bookmakers.com. Forgot to mention that again. I'm going to get in trouble for that. So details are in the description below. There are bookmakers that help you find the best bets. I'm sure they'll probably help you with the Grand National. If you do bet, please bet responsibly. If betting's not your thing, don't worry about it. But you can have a look at the website. Me and Kev use it for a lot of football statistics, especially for our Friday shows. And they do have a YouTube channel. Gav appears in that once a week. I think I appeared in it last week with him with a Spurs fan, and we talked about the battle for the title, who we thought would win. I think me and the Spurs fan had City winning it. Gav had Arsenal winning it. I think I had City winning it by 4 points. They I think had a point difference between them. So it's interesting. I mean, one of those results is already out the window because we all said West Ham would get battered by Arsenal, and that didn't happen. So it's already threw up a surprise or two.
It's a mad one. It is a mad one this season. And this is the thing. This is the other thing. The way the season has gone our away form, it just, to me, proved that if you prepare properly for an away game and your mentality is right, you invariably we have enough quality to beat almost every side. And the thing is, for 60 minutes against Arsenal at Anfield, we gave them a hiding. So, and they're the best side. We're the best side in the league, top of the table, and we absolutely tonked them. Did everything bar win. So,
listen, we still need.
We're not as far away as we think we are.
We still need to recruit. We all know.
Oh yeah,
we need to recruit well. But I think today also shows, and we've seen in a few games, what combination of attitude and confidence. Because I guarantee you, 3 games ago, Curtis Jones doesn't play that pass he plays for Jota's goal. He just doesn't. He plays a safe pass to Mo, which isn't the wrong pass, but do you know what I mean? You just don't take as many risks when you've got no confidence. So
exactly.
It's what you want to see. But look, as Jake said earlier on, the key thing now is we need to back it up with a win at home to Forest.
Yeah.
Then you go into Spurs. Then that makes the Spurs game massive, just because it gives you something. Because it gives you an opportunity to potentially catch Spurs.
Yeah.
Because they've got Newcastle at the weekend. Newcastle is not an easy game for anybody. And Spurs are a bit of a basket case anyway. So you generally don't know which Spurs turns up. The one that beats City or the ones that just throw silly leads away. So a bit like us at times.
Yeah. And that's the other frustration. The thing is, look, I think top 4 has been gone for a while.
The only outside chance you got now is you win all 9, you get a lot of luck go your way. It's very extreme. It's an extreme.
It would be seriously extreme, but my hope is that you do the best. You get the best possible results between now and the end of the season. Take that forward. That's all you can do. Win the games you can win. Control what you can control. Win your points. See where it gets you. If it gets us 6th, I don't care. If we win every game between now and the end of the season and we get 6th, I'll take that now, because
that's what you want, isn't it?
And that's it. There's nothing else you can do from here on out between now and the end of the season bar win your games. If you win your games, you literally just wipe your nose, dust yourself off, and you go again. But this is all down to the players, and this is all down to the attitude that they have to show up with now from now to the end of the season.
The other thing to remind you all is don't forget our charity partner, Breast Cancer Awareness. 12 Dublin ladies are going to do the Dublin Marathon, so we're trying to get them to 20k. So details are in the link below. Look, we know times are tough, so if you can, please give. If you can't, just share it around WhatsApp groups, work emails. You never know who it will reach. And if you do want to donate prizes, or you want someone to sponsor one of the teas for the golf day, just email lfcdaytrippers@gmail.com, and Gav can sort that out with you as well. So, if you can, that'd be grand as well. So, Kev, before we go, man of the match?
Trent. You'd have to give it to Trent. I thought he was exceptional. He did his defensive work brilliantly, but his contribution and his confidence to get on the ball in that 6 in a brand new role and distribute it the way he's distributed it tonight. I don't know what his passing stats were like tonight, but I'd imagine it was ridiculous. And almost all of his passes are forward and looking to penetrate in behind and looking to make something happen. So, yeah, for me, it's Trent. I thought there were some honourable mentions for sure in Fabinho, in Curtis Jones.
Salah got over Telly.
Salah, for sure. I think Salah was very good tonight. Salah, in this system, has the whole of that right side to himself. So he can come as deep as he likes. He can go inside. He can do pretty much whatever he wants, because he'll take the left back with him. And it's not like when, he's not isolated for a reason. He's isolated to do something. And, he'll evolve into that.
Matt's saying, if it wasn't, apart from his gaff, Ibu would have been in for a shot.
Yeah,
that was a mistake he made.
Yeah.
Passo is saying 136 passes from Trent, 91% passing accuracy. Wow. And let's be honest, they're not crab passes, if you know what I mean. They're not just the nice, easy passes. It's adventurous stuff he's doing as well. So it's really good. Sam Tandy said, Jones man of the match for me, as I think he set the tone on and off the ball and had a great assist. Jones had a really good game. It's nice to see.
Really good.
It's what you want to see, isn't it, from young players?
Yeah.
That, when they get the opportunity to take it. I still say, and I'll probably die in this hill anyways, if he stays fit, Jones could be like your Nicky Butt. what he was for United, which is he just comes in, does 4 or 5 games, disappears, comes back in 4 or 5 games, just does the job that you need him to do. It's not sexy, it's not fun, but do you know what? It's a good career you made out of it, and those sort of players are key. You know, you go back and look at the great United side. You look at that 99 side that everyone talks about. The actual 99 side that everyone raves about only played together 3 times. Most of those games were played by the likes of Nicky Butts and, you know, quite unfashionable players, but that's kind of what they do.
Yeah.
But the key thing is they stay fit, and that's what Jones has got to find a way of doing, is keeping himself fit.
Yeah, and that's it with a few of them. There's a few of them in that boat, but it was a standout away performance. It was the near perfect performance away from home, but it's everything now is geared to Forest on Saturday, and it's as important a game as we've had for a while. And the thing is, they can't turn around and look at this performance like they did with United and like they did with Bournemouth earlier in the season and previous years against Palace, and start sniffing themselves. Aren't we great? Pat on the back for a job well done. And forget the fact that Forest are fighting for their lives. And Forest are unconventional in the way they play as well. So we have to be on it massively.
It's also another revenge mission because Forest did us at their place, like Leeds did us at Anfield. So it's another thing of, well, you don't decide to do a double over you. You know, that's what we don't want. So far, the only side to do a double over, I think, is Brighton. But, you know, you can't. It's another thing you don't. The thing you don't want is giving someone the opportunity to do the double over you. So, you know, I fancy us against Forest mainly because it's at home. If it was at Forest, I'd be despite how atrocious they were against Man United, I still would be like, for us, aways just feel difficult.
Yeah.
So, but listen,
hopefully tonight was a step in the direction that we can start to put this to bed. That's where it needs to be. We need to be putting this to bed and almost closing a door on this season now and moving forward.
Yeah. So rest of the week, hit the bell icon. We're definitely going to have a viewers call-in show.
Yeah, there's a winners and losers tomorrow night. There's a phone-in show on Wednesday, so you guys can get your transfer stuff and your Jude Bellingham stuff and Ryan Gravenberch and whatever the latest flavour of the month is. You can get your opinions in on that on Wednesday night. Thursday, I think Matt has a viewer's voice. Friday, we're back with Premier League. Yeah, me and you. Premier League forecast on
We've
Friday.
got Ben Dorf, who's a Forest fan, and we've got a Wolves fan as well, haven't we?
Yeah, because Wolves have Leicester this weekend. That's a huge clash at that end of the table. Huge clash, plus a local derby as well.
Kind of want Leicester to win that, don't we? Don't tell the Wolves fan that. just because I want the dream of Everton going down, which would be quite fun.
Oh man, do you think they'll go? I think they're going to struggle now. Their run of fixtures is really, really off.
I think it's between Leicester and Everton for the final spot. I think Southampton are done. I sort of feel like Forest are probably done because I just don't see where they're getting the wins from at the moment. This is not the Liverpool, just in general. They just don't. I think their run of fixtures is quite difficult. Leicester and Everton have both got tough runs. I think Everton will rely on the home form, but I think a lot of their home games now are like City and Newcastle. They're not like
I think
games around them. I think Leeds might just be all right.
Well, Leeds are away to Fulham at the weekend, and I think their next 3 fixtures, they need to get 4 points out of their next 3 fixtures, and they might be okay. They can't go into May.
Yeah,
needing to get something. May is a nightmare for them.
Isn't it like United and City and Newcastle?
They got West Ham is their second last game. West Ham is their second last game. By then, that could be a real clash.
I mean, Everton's last game of the season is away at Bournemouth, isn't it? Home to Bournemouth.
That could be mental.
That could be a cracker. We'll have to keep an eye on that because it's all.
Oh yeah, this is going to go to the last day. I think it'll go to the last day of the season.
Yeah, the bottom 3 definitely.
I think everything else might be decided by then.
Yeah. Well, I think I predicted in the title room that I thought City might do it probably the game before, but it'd be close to the end. It's not. I can't see City now win every game and Arsenal just fall away. I do think it'll still be pretty tight.
Yeah,
but I do expect them just to do enough now, unfortunately. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please hit a like, please subscribe, and keep an eye out on social media, and we'll let you know what's coming out very soon. But until then, the Reds won an away game. Me and Kev are happy. We'll see you all again very, very soon.